Hello, I hope you are doing well. I hope today finds you in a good space and in good spirits. Today we're having another conversation about narcissistic personality disorder. So we're going to do a compare and contrast of the overt narcissist versus the covert narcissist. So I find it really important to say that narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder is really a term that's being oversaturated, overused, and not used and understood correctly by these social media streets. So I just want to clarify and let you know that in order to truly be a narcissist, it requires a diagnosis by a professional. According to the most recent DSM-5-TR, which is the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual for Mental Disorders, according to that, there are 9 personality traits that are listed. And in order to be a narcissist, you have to meet at least 5 or more of those requirements to truly be a narcissist. So just want to give respect to the people who really work with these individuals, really understand it on a deep level, and just know a little bit more about narcissism. You can have narcissistic traits without being a narcissist. You know, you can display maybe 2 behaviors. We're human. Any of us can display some narcissistic traits at some point in our life. So I just want to make that understood. Another thing I would like for us to keep in mind when we're having this conversation is the information that I bring to you is based off of fact, is based off of my own personal research, is based off of lived experience. And as a person who has worked in healthcare for over 20 years, I have some experience and I'm very familiar with the DSM. With that said, there's room for nuance. Let's have some nuanced thinking here. Let's keep in mind that everyone's experience may not be the same. So even though I may bring you some facts, it may not be your experience. Okay? People still have individual, unique personalities. So everyone's experience will be different to some degree. Although these traits that really define a narcissist are going to be things that you're going to see across the board. Let's keep that in mind. So let's see where we're going to start. So just some fun facts based off of clinical research about narcissism. Less than 10% of the U.S. population is diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, we all know that there are plenty of fools out here running around undiagnosed and who are not checking up on their mental health. And if it's going to be someone to not check up on their mental health, it's more likely to be the narcissist. Most cases of overt narcissism or grandiose narcissism are men. Most cases of covert narcissism are women. Interesting. I just thought that was interesting. So we're going to talk about how the overt and covert narcissists are alike. So both type of narcissists are very charming, charismatic people, and they will suck you into their world very quickly, leaving you to put your guard down and just trust in them. Both types of narcissists will follow that same pattern of love bombing, devaluing, discarding, and hoovering. Both thrive and need the admiration of others. Both type of narcissists are surrounded by enablers and use manipulation around these people to get whatever it is that they want. Also, both narcissists will affect you mentally. A lot of survivors of narcissistic abuse form what's called complex PTSD. And how complex post-traumatic stress disorder differs from regular PTSD is that complex PTSD is caused over time, is prolonged, caused by multiple events, multiple jabs into your subconscious, the way that a narcissist does for years by playing those mind games and just having you questioning yourself and your sanity. Whereas normal PTSD is caused by one event, such as maybe a person was robbed in a parking lot or experienced SA, and that one experience really shaped a fear that manifests differently than complex PTSD. So it's very important that if you have endured any type of narcissistic abuse, that you get some help. And even though you may not have post-traumatic stress disorder, it is still very possible for you to have some of the traits and characteristics without having the full-on diagnosis of PTSD. So let's talk about this big head mofo, the overt narcissist. We're going to talk about some key signs to let you know you are dealing with the overt narcissist. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A lot of times this is going to be the person who comes into the function with their mouth all wide. You're going to hear them coming. All their teeth going to be showing. You know, they just can't stop talking about them and got all these extravagant stories about, you know, where they've been, what they've done, call them done. They done it all. The overt narcissist is just very over the top, very extra. They're demanding. They're loud. A lot of times they're rude and snarky. The overt is just going to come off very confident and just have this larger than life persona of themselves, going into cockiness. A lot of them actually are very ambitious and hold positions of power. You may see them in law enforcement. They may be lawyers or judges. They may be doctors. They may be business executives and can actually accomplish a lot in their lives. Now, for the overt that really haven't accomplished a lot, they still talk up this big game and talk in fantasy about things that they want to do and, you know, business moves that they're going to make in the future, although they may not even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Whether they are accomplished or not, they still display this grandiose, larger than life persona that really sucks people in. The love bombing stage of the overt narcissist is going to feel like you are just in a music video, like you're in a movie. They're going to be very adventurous. You know, if they got money, they ain't going to mind spending it. They like to show off. You know, you're going to be doing all types of new activities that maybe you haven't experienced before. And this is something that can really make a woman feel like she's just hit the jackpot. So that is a lot of how they win over their love interest in the beginning. And once you really get to listen to how they talk, you really start to see just how cocky they are. It's the turnoff once you start listening to the overt narcissist. The overt narcissist is more prone to be violent during that stage of devaluing. They like to use tactics like threatening and intimidation to get what it is that they want. And a lot of times they have temper tantrums when you don't fall in line. So they can very well be very unpredictable and dangerous individuals. On top of that, they are extremely judgmental and superficial, especially if they have a little cheddar or a little bread. The more they have, the worse they are. Because remember, no one has it going on like them. Everyone else is just a loser. They've done it all. They've explored it all. And no one can quite meet their standard. They will always use their money to make you fall in line and do whatever it is that their agenda is. So I'm going to give you a little test, something that you can do to really see if you're dealing with the overt narcissist. As they're talking about themselves and you're looking for that, you know, that conversation, because they don't know how to have conversation. They like to take over the conversation. Start to talk about yourself. Start to talk about the goals that you've reached in your life and your aspirations, or simply watch them have a conversation with someone else who's talking about the things that they've done. Watch how quickly they either change the subject and start back talking about them, or watch how quickly their attention goes somewhere else. They're going to start yawning. They're going to scratch their head, looking to the side. They digging in their nails because no one's as important as them. They want all the attention when they got their big mouth open. But as soon as someone else tries to take the floor, it just makes them feel like, oh, I got to remind you of how big I am. And they're so quick to jump in and change the subject and flip the script. It's very interesting to see. Next is the covert narcissist. And the covert narcissist is very dangerous. And a lot of clinical professionals agree that they can be the hardest to detect and diagnose because they go undetected for so long. The covert narcissist comes off as very sweet, shy, compassionate, and empathetic. And they mimic whoever they are around so well and are so good at gaining your trust because they're just completely different from the overt narcissist. For me in my situation, it was like night and day. I had just gotten out of an extremely violent situation to where the abuse looked completely different. And it took me years to figure out what was going on. Because this covert narcissist never laid a hand on me, which is what I had gotten acclimated to. They never raised their voice at me. They were very insidious and calculating with how they dealt with me and planting seeds of insecurity in a very indirect way. And that is one of the number one tools that a covert narcissist use. And that's passive aggression. They are very passive aggressive in their communication. You know, they don't verbalize what it is that they want clearly. They come off as insecure and shy, and they're always playing the victim. They have this martyred saint, what I like to call it, syndrome about themselves. Woe is me. Oh, I just continue to treat people so well. I do so much for people, but people just keep shitting on me. I just can't win. No one sees my worth. Poor me. They always play the victim. That is a key indicator that you are dealing with a covert narcissist. They are always playing the victim and always acting like they're doing something for someone else. And this is why relationships with the covert narcissists tend to last so long. Because you feel like you just need to jump to their aid. You're so willing to help them out because they give you these sob stories. When in fact, they love keeping people around them who they consider the help. You know, these are introverted people. They speak in riddles. You will never truly know what a covert narcissist is thinking or their true intentions. You can ask them a simple yes or no question, and it's hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock struck 1, and yet I'm still here waiting for you to answer this question with a simple yes or no. The covert narcissist, once you see it, it is so aggravating, just how they go about sucking you in and just not being accountable. You know, they do a lot of dry begging. For instance, if they need something picked up from the dry cleaner, instead of just saying, baby, you mind going to pick up these clothes from the dry cleaner? They'll play it like, oh my God, I'm just so busy. I got to get the car fixed. I got to pick up these clothes from the dry cleaner. I don't know what to do. Leaving you in a position to say, I'll jump in and help you. That's how they do it. They are master gaslighters. They are masters of planting seeds of insecurity while hiding it under the guise of being concerned. For example, they may say, you know, I'm concerned about you. You're not looking the same. You're not acting the same. Do you need to talk to someone? Do you need help? Making you think that something is wrong with you. Planting those slick seeds of insecurity. They have you and everyone else around them fooled because this narcissist will actually do acts of kindness, but they won't do it without an audience. And what I mean by this is they'll go visit the sick and shut in. They might go visit someone at a nursing home, or if somebody is sick, you know, they might actually go and care for them. But someone has to be there to see it. Someone has to see and hear that they're coming on a regular basis, that they're checking in on this person because it makes them look like the nice guy. It makes them look more trustworthy. But if someone is truly suffering or sick or needs assistance and there's no one to watch, they ain't gonna be there. They need that audience to boost their ego. These individuals are very insecure. They are very jealous and envious of people. They always compare themselves to everyone. And the covert narcissist ruminates a lot, just like the other ones, but the covert narcissist does so even more because they really hide that deep level of insecurity that they have, but yet wants you to see them as confident and caring and loving. And there are a lot of times when the overt and covert narcissists can switch roles. A lot of narcissists can take on components of the other. For instance, if you want to see an overt narcissist turn into a covert narcissist or look a little bit different, let that one with some money lose their money. Let something happen to where they're down bad. You're going to see all that vibrato turn into a whimper, acting like a dog with their little tail tucked in. And there's times when the covert narcissist is grandiose. Let them get a little something, a little trinket, a new ride, a new piece of clothing, or something that makes them feel valuable, because they need things and people around them to make them feel valuable. Let them get a little whiff of that. Oh, they're going to get big-headed. They're going to show off in a minute. So it's very important just to become aware of the certain patterns that they display. Anytime you are dealing with abuse, it will never be an easy coast. It got to be some trauma, and it got to be a pattern involved in it. So please, just be very aware. Keep your eyes and ears open. And just know, be in tune with what you are feeling. Because a lot of times, these narcissists are so good, you will hear the signs. You will hear the certain things that they say that make you go, But yet, because they are so good at manipulating and flipping the script, they will have you questioning yourself. When it comes to dealing with a narcissist, you are definitely going to have to come to a place to where you have to break your own heart to get some peace. And what I mean by that is you have to make a head over heart decision. That narcissist keeps you in that cycle for so long. And it is so insidious and hard to recognize that you think you should stay there to keep trying to fix them, when you just need to let go so you can have some peace of mind. That's about all I can stand on having this discussion about the narcissist. This is very draining energetically, and it takes a lot out of me to make any type of content, but especially when talking with the narcissist or talking about something that I have dealt with personally. Now, before I go, I feel led to pull a card from my Oracle deck. Now, for those who do not believe in tarot or who don't like Oracle decks or things of that nature, this is your sign to exit stage left. If you don't agree, if this is something that you can't resonate with, I respect that. That's why I'm giving you this warning. But for those, I feel like there's, even if it's just one person who needs that extra oomph of confirmation or that extra boost or that extra something to ignite and spark something in them to make change and leave that narcissist, I do want to pull a card from my Oracle of the Angels deck. This is a very lovely deck. This is something that I like to use when, I'm feeling a little down. I need a little extra confirmation or a positive affirmation in my life. So I really hope that this resonates with someone, and I feel that it will because I'm feeling drawn to do so. All right, Spirit says 3. One more. Someone has a lot to learn. All right, one more. One more. What does the collective or this one specific individual need to know? These are powerful cards. Lord have mercy. All right, so I'm going to show you 3 messages that I got here. Number 1. I don't know if you can see this. Moving towards the light. Moving towards the light. This talks about doing what you know you need to do in your spirit and moving forward. Not being afraid and doing what's best for you. Next, I got learning. This is a learning experience for you. This is meant to teach you and make you better. I know that it may feel like your mind is currently imprisoned. You may not know up from down. This experience will truly help you be on top of your A game and recognize all forms of manipulation. Because once you have dealt with narcissism, you cannot ignore anything that is remotely similar. This is a learning experience. Take this learning experience and move towards the light. Last message that I received, and I'm actually going to go through the book and read what the book says as well, because I don't want you to miss any of this. Last card that I pulled, receptivity. Receptivity. You have to be open to the communication that God is trying to give you. You have to be open to the learning experience. You have to be receptive to do to do what you're being called to do. The narcissists don't want me saying that. I'm getting all flustered and caught up in my throat. They don't want you to have this freedom. They want you to stay in that bondage. But you know better than that. Someone knows that spirit has been communicating with you and it's time to go. Free yourself, boo. Now let me read the meanings of these cards. Now the whole time I ain't had none of this phlegm up in my throat, but as soon as I try to speak some truth, that narcissist is gonna come in and try to flip the script. I'm telling you, that's what they do. All right, moving towards the light. Let me read out of this book. Moving towards the light. Each stage of our lives is a bridge to inner transformation. When we go through the stages with resistance and anger, we slow down our progress and can feel stuck where we are. By trying to find the light in our challenges and looking at them from a more positive perspective, we move through them faster and evolve. Make an effort to embrace your current challenges by identifying what you can learn and move towards the light. This narcissist, this person about to be free. You can't keep them bound. Leave my throat alone. I find a hidden blessing in each of my challenges. I am forever transforming, evolving, and progressing along my path. Somebody needs this. And I can identify with the struggle personally. These are things that I've gone through myself. All right, moving towards the light. What's the next card I'm going to read that we got? Learning. Learning. Life always brings you exactly what is needed for your soul's growth. Instead of resisting difficulties, try to see them from a higher perspective for what they really are, an opportunity for growth and learning. When you look with awareness at the wisdom and the gift from the obstacles and challenges you face, you progress further along your path and move on to new experiences. Look at God communicating. God never fails in communicating, boy. I choose to learn from my experiences and always take away a gift or little insight to further my understanding. Life always brings me what is best for my growth. I trust in life and welcome all experiences with wisdom. Beautiful cards. Last one. Receptivity. Receptivity. Take the time to still your mind and find your silence within. Dedicating even just a few minutes a day to quiet contemplation will help you become more receptive to the spirit of light that allows you to see clearly and find peace and harmony with the universe. I still my mind and open to the spirit of light that permeates all things. I am one with the universe, and I gratefully receive its blessings. Sweetheart, it's been time for you to go. It's time for you to choose you. It's time for you to end the circus. God has been trying to communicate with you. You know it. You've seen the signs. Your spirit is crushed. You're sick and tired. But you may not know how to move forward. And that's okay. It's very difficult. But just know you cannot stay where you are. I'm going to end today's conversation with that. And I sincerely hope for the individual who is going through this and that you are stuck and bound, that you begin to seek your own freedom and answer the call. God is ready for you to step into the life that you were always meant to have. Take this as a learning experience and let this make you greater. The best revenge against the narcissist is to leave them and be better. And you don't do it out of the spirit of making them jealous or trying to get revenge on them. You do it with the spirit of self-love. Do it for yourself, and everything else will fall in line. Choose you, boo. I sincerely love you. Thank you for being open to the discussion and the messages, and I will talk to you soon. Please take care. I love you.